In the face of accelerating inflation, procurement departments can significantly reduce the company's cost exposure by immediately maximizing contract usage, consolidating spend, and securing short-term critical supply. But without agile and efficient processes to dynamically support this, most organizations are fighting an uphill battle. Here's how it works with Celonis. Let's jump into the role of our global head of supply chain, Tom, who uses Celonis to keep his finger on the pulse of his supply chain's core KPIs in real time, against benchmarks. Tom observes an increase in the material price index year over year, which is driving a cost increase of more than $100 million. He also notices low trending material availability, coupled with a decrease in the gross unit margin. It's clear that inflation is having a significant impact on his supply chain, but Tom now needs to understand what the impact is at a deeper level and how to act to mitigate it. Tom directs his supply chain analyst, Ellen, to take a closer look. Our analyst, Ellen, investigates the procurement process to find the root cause of the price increases. To analyze the process, Celonis extracts digital footprints in real time from the source systems to render a full digital twin of the procurement process. With this X-ray of our process, we can track purchases from the creation of a requisition to the clearing of an invoice, based on our existing transactional and user interaction data. However, these are only the most common process steps. When adding the next most frequent steps, we discover a deviation from our standard process, which is changing the price on a purchase order, affecting more than 10% of cases. As we continue to increase our view to include every path a PO could take, we see an ocean of inefficiency emerge. This is the true complexity of how most global businesses run, caused by a rigid and fragmented IT landscape. Having identified that price changes are occurring frequently in the procurement process, Ellen logs into her inflation monitor in Celonis to understand the impact this is having. Here she gets an overview of the latest trends in commodities, as well as the price trends of raw materials the company is purchasing. Ellen notices that the material, magnet wire, has experienced the highest increase in price over the last quarter while also having one of the lowest days of cover, meaning this material will soon need to be replenished. She filters on the wire and notices that it has more than 9,000 open production orders, with consistent demand over the next several months. Given the complexity of the supply chain, this analysis saves Ellen considerable time in pinpointing crucial issues. Ellen is very concerned about the impact this recent price increase will have downstream, on the margin of the finished products which are manufactured from the wire. The company should therefore reduce costs to counteract inflation, mitigate the margin impact, and protect profits. Investigating this material further, Ellen discovers that the magnet wire was purchased 170,000 times, representing $200 million in net purchase value. To help Ellen, Celonis has automatically identified the top cost reduction opportunities in procurement and prioritized these based on their impact. The opportunity with the highest impact is to prevent contract leakage, which occurs when existing contracts with vendors are not linked to the purchase requisition, meaning that these purchases do not benefit from the negotiated payment terms, increasing overall spend. Alarmingly, contract leakage occurs 53,000 times with an impact of $1.1 million. To investigate this further, Ellen dives one level deeper. On the left, she can see how these missing contracts lead to the financial impact of more than $1 million. Celonis breaks down the affected purchase orders by the price difference between the purchase order price paid and the negotiated price available on contract with the vendor. Filtering only on those purchase orders where the difference exceeded $500, Ellen can identify specific vendors with high contract leakage which are driving the financial impact. To reduce this impact and start realizing the potential savings, Ellen needs to flag this to the procurement managers and ensure that employees are always correctly leveraging the existing contracts. With this, Ellen just went from understanding the highest level impact of inflation to identifying the most significant cost reduction opportunities and vendors responsible. However, taking actions to fix these inefficiencies manually is time-consuming and difficult to do at scale. Given the current market conditions, Ellen cannot afford to wait. This is where Celonis action flows come in. Let's check it out. Action flows bridge the gap between insights and execution by providing integrated automation to orchestrate actions across a complex landscape in real time. It interacts with people, systems of record, enterprise workflow tools, and even RPA bots. This action flow analyzes purchasing requisitions and directs automated actions to ensure contracts are correctly leveraged, remedying the impact of inflation and minimizing purchasing costs. First, the action flow monitors incoming purchase requisitions so Celonis can identify those without a contract attached. Celonis then checks whether there is an available contract, and, if the negotiated contract is greater than the price in the purchase requisition, Celonis alerts the strategic purchasing team to renegotiate the contract in question and leverage the lower price available. For those where the negotiated contract price available is lower than the price in the purchase requisition, it automatically updates the purchase requisition with the contract reference number, ensuring optimal pricing terms and preemptively protecting margins. This allows Ellen to build a proactive and resilient reaction to macro-inflationary trends. Now, let's take a look at how Celonis equips the strategic purchasing team to deliver on the change Ellen's driving. John, a strategic buyer, logs into Celonis and sees a task inbox where all relevant tasks are collected for him. He is presented with a prioritized list of the purchase requisitions that require his attention. As John reviews an open purchase requisition, he is provided with all the necessary context to take action based on his knowledge and experience with just one click. Celonis shows him that the price on this purchase requisition is lower than on the available contract, and John can contact the vendor to renegotiate the contract directly from within Celonis. Through this radical prioritization, John can be confident that he is taking action to directly protect the business from the impact of inflation. This is the true power of real-time data-driven execution. Let's recap. We have seen how Tom, our global head of supply chain, utilizes a real-time overview of the impact of inflation on his supply chain. Next, Ellen, our supply chain analyst, uncovered the inflationary impact throughout the supply chain and identified high-value cost reduction opportunities. Finally, we saw how John, a strategic buyer, took rapid action to ensure optimal prices were negotiated. The Celonis EMS has helped the entire team quickly mitigate the impact of inflation by revealing and fixing hidden inefficiencies to achieve new levels of performance.